All right, everybody, welcome to Dial M for Movies. I'm Henry Confidential, and today we are starting up a new show. And since we're shifting the trivia of There Will Be Trivia over to the new channel on the Worldwide Movie Trivia Network, Worldwide Movie Games Network, still haven't decided what we're calling that. But anyway, since There Will Be Trivia is not going to be on Dial M for Movies anymore, I have decided that I'm going to try and get as many movie-related shows that I can on my channel, based on my style and my interests. So, I like doing lists, as you saw last week on Pocket Sevens with me and my buddy over there, Mike Hanley, that I like doing lists, but right now we're doing a different style of list, and this is going to be a more collaborative list, similar to, as you guys might not have known, Full Metal 5, over there, my buddy Chance, their top 5 list that they have that I was a guest on for the top 5 worst DC movies, which was fun. Fuck Watchmen. So with that being said, what we're going to do today is tournament style best Tarantino movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to rank Tarantino movies 1 through 8. Kill Bill's Volume 1 and 2 are going to be one movie because this master says so himself. So with that being said, we are going to rank them based on release date, not rating IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to make it interesting, and we're going to have some fun. So before we get started, I'm going to introduce my panel. Let's get off the bat the guy you know the most from, Dial M for Movies, Mike, Mr. DVD Hanley. What's up, buddy? How do you feel about Tarantino? How do you feel about tournament style? And how do you feel about, this new show?
I love Tarantino. Tarantino is one of my top 5 favorite directors of all time. I think this show is a great idea. It's going to be so much fun.
That's what I'm talking about. And let's go ahead and talk to, the Full Metal Trivia guy that I was talking about earlier, Chance, the Titan Ellison. What's up, dude? Tarantino, tournament style, different minds? What we got?
Yeah, first of all, Tarantino, like Mike said, he's my personal favorite director, contemporary speaking. But yeah, I'm always like to talk about his movies. I enjoy all of them. Some of them are my personal favorite top 10. As far as tournament style, yeah, I'm always up to try something new. It's a new form. This is a new format. I'm excited to do this.
All right, and last but not least, we have Zach, the Great Gonzo. When we're not in the trivia league. Yeah, well, let's go the Great Gonzo.
It's a good nickname.
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. All right, Zach. So you're new onto a show like this, other than trivia. Obviously, we've had you, but as far as speaking of panel-based shows, how do you feel about being a part of this, Tarantino?
No, I'm definitely a huge fan.
Oh, huge fan.
He hit a point in my life when I was about 13, and I was just starting to like movies that weren't animated, and seeing Kill Bill in theaters, and my brother introduced me to Pulp Fiction, so it was very kind of momentous in my love to liking more serious movies.
That's what I'm talking about.
So you put a special place.
So what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to rate them 1 through 8 based on release date. So let's just get right off the number 1 seed in Reservoir Dogs versus the number 8 seed in The Hateful Eight. I'm not going to have a dog in this race because I'm letting it up to you three. So let's start, Mike. Reservoir Dogs versus The Hateful Eight. Kurt Russell versus the OG.
This was a kind of tough one for me, which was surprising. I don't think it was going to be tough, but I had to go with Reservoir Dogs.
Wow.
I love Hateful Eight, but I think Reservoir Dogs is a better movie overall.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Let's go with Chance.
Yeah, this is a tougher one than you might expect. I love both these films. Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino coming out basically being like, "Hey guys, I'm here." Hateful Eight, I always saw as like Tarantino All-Star Edition. Okay. But if I had a choice between the two, yeah, I agree with Mike. It's got to be Reservoir Dogs.
Alrighty, so Reservoir Dogs is gonna move on. Zach, if you had a horse in this race, would you have gone opposite, or would you have definitely followed suit?
I probably would have gone opposite. It's a little biased because it's been a while since I've seen Reservoir Dogs, but I think Hateful Eight has something a little more ambitious to it. Reservoir Dogs was his version of a heist film, where Hateful Eight was like a western, but decided this like kind of polarizing idea of keeping it very contained, which hasn't done with such a mainstream western in a long time, and kind of relies on it more with the screenplay and the twists and the turns, and you get ambitious and unique in that way.
Reservoir Dogs advances to the next round. Next up, we have the number 2 seed, which, there's no really seedings, but the number 2 movie, Pulp Fiction, versus Django Unchained, 2012.
Oh, this hurts.
This one is fun, and speaking of hurt, we're gonna start off with Chance. Pulp
Are you
Fiction
showing me?
versus Django Unchained.
God. Both these movies are in my personal top 20, but the higher one for me, it's gotta be Pulp Fiction. I mean, everything in this movie works. It has the best. It has one of, if not the best performance in any Tarantino movie with Samuel L. Jackson. The story is fantastic. The dialogue clicks. Everything in this movie just works so well, and it's gotta be Pulp Fiction, man.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can argue. I can argue the fact that the best performance, let alone the best Samuel L. Jackson performance of Tarantino of it. Yeah, but I have one I would want to talk about later on. But yeah, well, it's definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I think I know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll get to it
But
later.
yeah, so let's go on to Zach now. So Zach, your vote didn't count. So your impacting factor. Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained.
It's probably the easiest one it's going to be for me.
Really?
Django Unchained is actually near the bottom of my Tarantino list, and I think it's definitely due to the third act. I think it's such a tonal shift, and for Tarantino, it's a normal. The hyperviolence is normal, but for everything that came before, it was a jump for me, and it was a little over the top, which is what many people's criticisms of Tarantino is that gets over the top. When Pulp Fiction revolutionized movie making, and when you create 1,000 filmmakers that make rip-offs of you later, it means you've done something right. And just that film was so ingenious with its narrative and its kind of use of forgotten actors that we kind of talked about, that it was really, as I said, it was something I saw when I was just beginning to like adult movies, and I don't want to vote for it out of nostalgia. I've seen it many times since. But there's a reason it kind of created this love for more serious filmmaking.
That's what I'm talking about. And Mike, obviously Pulp Fiction's going to move on, but would you have agreed or would you have been...
Yeah, 100%. Pulp Fiction is my favorite Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
I've been watching it since I was a little kid. I love that movie.
Spoilers! Don't give away the one you're going to fight for the whole time.
So Pulp Fiction, moving on. So, next up, we have an interesting matchup, and one that I already know the outcome regardless, but it's an interesting matchup nonetheless, and potentially an upset, maybe in my opinion, if I were to have a horse in this race. But it's going to be the number 3 movie, Jackie Brown versus Inglorious Basterds.
Ooh.
Or we're gonna start with Zach this time. You just got done watching Jackie Brown, so.
Yeah, I just watched Jackie Brown for the first time to prepare for this, and I would love to support it. And Pam Grier, I think, is top 3 Tarantino performances, which is another show we can do later. Just definitely great. But Inglorious Basterds just blew my mind when I saw it in theaters. It was one of my favorite theater experiences I ever had. And I think it has all these Tarantino staples of humor and hyper-violence, but then added something new with just this straight dramatic suspense, especially with that first scene. And I think the most scary dramatic performance from Christoph Waltz that he's ever been able to do. And I think that was Tarantino kind of elevating, this is the new step in my career, post Grindhouse, and kind of showed where his mind was at this stage. It's a new level that he was able to go to.
Yeah, so can't argue with that by any stretch of imagination. But Mike, can you?
I like both the movies, but I have to go Inglorious Basterds. See, that opening scene alone takes it for me. That opening scene is so amazing. Christoph Waltz just sitting there, wearing him down, knowing that he knows they're in there. And also the love of cinema in that movie. It just shows how much Quentin Tarantino loves cinema.
Yeah.
Another comeback role.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I just want more people to see Jackie Brown, and I'll talk about as much as possible just to get people to talk about it and be like, the fact that it's automatically in most people's bottom, that breaks my heart, because I don't think, even if it is, I don't think it deserves to be in the bottom. If anything, more movies deserve to be above it.
Well, it's just a testament to how good Tarantino's filmography is, because he has so many great movies that, it's good, but it's not. There are movies that I think are better than Jackie Brown.
Being at the bottom of Tarantino list is not an insult.
Yeah.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah,
Not the imagination.
All right, and speaking of the bottom, we have a movie that is universally at the bottom of 99.99999% of Tarantino lists versus a movie that could be either number 1 for everybody, number 4 or 5 for everybody, or number 8, depending on just their taste. We have Kill Bill's Volume 1 and 2, because he himself considers them one movie, one story, like the Lord of the Rings franchise. If you can say Lord of the Rings trilogy is one movie, you can say Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are one movie, versus Death Proof. And Mike, obviously you know we're coming to you first because we want your vote to count. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 versus Death Proof. What do you got?
This is going to be fun. I'm choosing Death Proof.
Really?
Yeah!
Why? Let us have it. Why?
Even though I do enjoy Kill Bill, the rewatchability factor for me goes with Death Proof. I can rewatch Death Proof a lot more than I can Kill Bill. I think Kurt Russell is amazing in that movie, and the fact that they turn it on its head during the second part of that film, where he's going after Zoe Bell and Rosario Dawson, and what happens with that, which I won't give it away, just changes it for me. It's just a fun B-movie, grindhouse movie, as they call it, grindhouse, and it just shows Quentin Tarantino this is a movie he wanted to do. 100% for a grindhouse movie, this is a movie he really wanted to do, and he got to do it. And even though I love the blood and the story of Kill Bill, I think Death Proof I enjoy better. I enjoy more.
Chance, can you disagree, or are we sending Death Proof to the second round?
Before I my vote, I gotta say, Mike, a lot of things have been said about Death Proof. You're right. Like, it is a really fun. I love a good B movie. I absolutely love Death Proof. You're right. Kurt Russell is fantastic. So many things in that movie, just on a B movie standpoint, they work. And you're right. Like, you can tell it's a Tarantino passion project because you can tell Tarantino's a big fan of just cinema in general. Like, you can tell he wanted to make a really fun, just B movie. And I love B movies. That speaks to me a lot. That being said, the only thing I love more than B movies are kung fu movies. And Kill Bill, the Kill Bill movies, like, they're the epitome of great kung fu movies and they're also great revenge stories. Like, one of my favorite action sequences of this past decade was The Bride versus the Crazy 88 in Kill Bill Volume 1. It's a fantastic scene. So many things in this movie work, from David Carradine to Uma Thurman, the entire cast, the script, the action. It's a modern kung fu movie in the best kind of way. I gotta give my vote to Kill Bill.
Alrighty, so we gotta break the tie. We got 2007's Death Proof versus 2003 and 4's Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. The number 4 and 5 seeds, the 99% unanimous vote for the bottom pick versus a hit or miss for most people. Zach, what do we got?
First, I want to say I'm really glad I can feel important and I can be it's very rare for me to feel valued. And so I'm going to leave my answer to the end of my conversation about it. So, Kill Bill, you said it, like, Death Proof is such a rewatchable movie, but to me, Kill Bill is his Volume 1 specifically, is his most rewatchable movie, just for the production designs and that quick action. I'm not an action lover. It's very hard for me to be invested in a story that has so much action in it, and this is for me. And I think that's built upon that kind of, not exactly a mystery, but we'll go with the word mystery for lack of a better term, that he kind of creates about the story's background, which he then fulfills with with part 2. But you don't really need to watch them together. You can enjoy them both separately, and I think that's a testament to those films. And then Death Proof is, well, I say it's a super underrated movie. Like, Jackie Brown, you say is underrated, but people like it. It's just not rated to top. A lot of people just don't like Death Proof, and I don't fully understand it. I think it's a lot better than Planet Terror and the Grindhouse Pair. I think it has this Tarantino touch, but with him trying to do something a little goofier, a little lighter, but it still has this great dialogue that is traditional with him, has great performances, and a spin on where you think it's going. It transforms into a whole different movie halfway through, and there definitely is a fan base that people don't recognize, because that's my brother's, like, number 2 Tarantino movie, and watches it when he cleans, which I don't know if that makes it a good movie if you watch it.
Clean house.
But it's definitely... And it's something, I want to be the pretentious hipster sometimes, hence the cardigan. I want to stand for the thing that no one else likes. But I have to go with Kill Bill. It's hard to go against it. It is an ambitious thing with him going with 2 parts, and that the 2 parts are so like connected but dissimilar. You can get different things out of both films, and it's amazing. Yeah.
All right, so with that being
Kill Bill.
said, we have round one of the Quentin Tarantino movies done. We have Reservoir Dogs over The Hateful Eight. We have Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 over Death Proof. We have Pulp Fiction over Django Unchained. And we have Inglorious Basterds over Jackie Brown. So moving on to the second round. Our first matchup, which we're going to start with Mike, is Reservoir Dogs versus Kill Bill. You voted for Reservoir Dogs in the first round, and you voted against Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 in the second round. So this is going to be an interesting decision. What do you got?
Well, gonna have to vote against it again. I gotta go Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
That movie to me, I love Reservoir Dogs. I think the performance in that is amazing. Like we said in the first round, I think it's a near perfect Quentin Tarantino movie.
I wouldn't even say necessarily near perfect Tarantino movie, just a near perfect movie. All right, so as you can tell, Mike had to leave. It's it's just how it goes. You have internet business, you have internet show and things go on. It's how it's gonna go. But we're gonna continue on. The show must go on. So I'm gonna take over from Mike from here on while simultaneously hosting, and I agree that I would have gone Reservoir Dogs over Kill Bill. So Chance, you're gonna go next. What do you got? Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill.
Oh, it's a tough one. I do love both these films, but first of all, it comes down to rewatchability for me and which one has more moments that I enjoy. And out of these two, I got to go Kill Bill.
Wow.
Yeah, like I already talked about the Crazy 88 sequence, the last one, but this has one of the most gorgeous tracking shots I've ever seen in film history. It's it's got there's a lot of things that are they're homages to kung fu films in general, and there are a lot of things that are so distinct to Tarantino that I gotta throw this up against Reservoir Dogs.
All right, Zach, you're gonna be the determining factor. What's gonna go on to the finals? Reservoir Dogs or Kill Bill? Tarantino movie.
So I mean, Reservoir Dogs is definitely the stepping stone of his career. Sorry for my ring clashing on the floor. It's definitely a stepping stone for his career, but I feel like he was able to progress upon that better with Pulp Fiction. Like it's definitely is a stepping stone in that point that he has the I'm blanking on easy words. What's the type of narrative called where he changes up the timing of it?
Non-linear narrative.
Thank
you. The non-linear filmmaking. He started with kind of Reservoir Dogs, but was able to progress upon that, master it in Pulp Fiction. When Kill Bill is like nothing he's ever done before, with this two-parter and having a straight-up just crazy action scene. He's never made an action movie like Kill Bill. Everything else was a little more story-oriented, and I just think that it holds up as something a little more unique in time. That's a testament to his ability to constantly innovate himself through the career and test himself through his career. So I vote Kill Bill.
Wow.
Definitely.
All right, so with that being said, Kill Bill, unfortunately, is going to move on to the finals, and that breaks my heart because Reservoir Dogs personally is my favorite Tarantino movie. But hey, that's sometimes how the show goes, and that's why we bring different minds onto a show like this, and I can't wait to see further renditions of this. So moving on to the other side, we have Pulp Fiction versus Inglorious Basterds. We're going to start off with Zach this time since you got to have the determining factor last time. Let's let you come out the gate swinging. Inglorious Basterds or Pulp Fiction?
This is by far the hardest one. But one of my top 10 movies of all time. And I said probably my favorite experience in theaters is seeing Inglorious Basterds. I was just constantly surprised throughout time. Maybe there's a bias because I saw Pulp Fiction, years after it came out, when I was able to see Inglorious Basterds in its prime in theaters. So I acknowledge that. But I've seen Pulp Fiction many times, and just comparing it, Inglorious Basterds, I feel like I'm never going to see anybody able to get close to that or anything able to resemble that at all. When there's been a lot of Pulp Fiction ripoffs, but some of them have been good. It's something that's duplicatable. And Inglorious Basterds is such a unique and specific idea to Tarantino's mind that is just unable to be recreated, and it's amazing.
All right, that is understandable. I definitely can respect your decision, and I'm just going to come out next, and I'm going to say Pulp Fiction is one of those movies that this is literally apples to oranges. They are so different movies despite being made by the same filmmaker, and both despite being amazing in their own right. But Pulp Fiction for me is one of those where it's a little more quotable, and like I said, Brad Pitt is my favorite actor of all time, and the fact that I'm gonna go with Pulp Fiction kind of, you know, blows my mind because the fact, that's why I like the way that I review movies and I rate movies because it makes me take the bias out of it and the nostalgia and all that crap out of it because it's personally how I look at two movies separately. And Pulp Fiction, barely, don't get me wrong, it's literally, they're both, I think, in my top 10, 20, like from 10 to 20. I think, I think Pulp Fiction's in my top 10 and Inglorious Basterds in my top 20. So, I mean, they're both way up there. I love them so much. But yeah, I'm going to go Pulp Fiction over Inglorious Basterds, but by the slimmest of margins. Chance, determining factor. What's going to go on the finals to face Kill Bill?
Oh, this is like Zach said, this is the toughest one so far. You could argue that each one of these is Tarantino's masterpieces. Like, you could argue these are the two best Tarantino films. I've seen Inglorious Basterds more recently, and yeah, I've learned to appreciate a lot more than I used to. It's everything that movie works. The fact that when he wrote Hans Landa, he thought that was an unplayable character, and the fact that Christoph Waltz was able to come in and just make it so natural. And also, there are a lot of moments that do work, like the speaking Italian scene in yeah, when they're acting as their escort. That scene, that's a brilliant piece of like foreshadowing. And as far as Pulp Fiction goes, there are also a lot of smarter moments that you don't notice, like the whole trophy Easter egg, the fact that bad things happen whenever Vega goes to the bathroom, the scene with the adrenaline scene, like, and also who can forget Samuel L. Jackson as Jules Winfield, possibly the best he's ever been in a Tarantino film. It's tough, but at the end of the day, I gotta give it to Pulp Fiction, man. A film that's so distinctly Tarantino that I can't deny that spot on the list. So Tarantino gets it.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so moving on to the finals. Our final matchup for best Tarantino movie of all time, we have 2003 and 4's Kill Bill, Volume 1 and 2, and 1994's Pulp Fiction, Tarantino's second full feature-length film. Wow, this one's a doozy. And Chance, since you got to determine the final one, let's go ahead and get you out the gates. Which one are you going to give that crown to?
I know I've been singing the praises of Kill Bill, but I will say I think another filmmaker could have made Kill Bill. It would have been capable. It would have been an acceptable movie. I think the only person who could have made Pulp Fiction work is Tarantino. Some of the dialogue, some of just the scenes where they're talking, it's so memorable, so quotable. Even when they're just sitting and talking about literally nothing, or a cheeseburger, or a foot massage, it's so captivating. And also, this is my first experience with Tarantino. I remember this was the first Tarantino movie I saw. I got to see it for the first time on the big screen, and I instantly fell in love. It's my number 4 movie of all time. I gotta say Pulp Fiction.
Alrighty, so with that being said, Zach, let's go ahead and hear what you got. See if you're gonna break the mold or if we're gonna have Pulp Fiction as the number 1.
Part of this might be me just trying to make it more exciting, but also I feel like Chance's argument for Pulp Fiction persuaded me against Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Which is saying that no one's been able to make it, which is no one's been able to make it or would be able to make it as well as he did. But I've been saying that it really influenced a lot of filmmakers, whether in movies that a lot of people hate, but I enjoyed, at least with like Lucky Number 11 and Smoking Aces, and a lot of stuff that was trying to be like Tarantino that when there hasn't been any film to the level of creating this double feature of Kill Bill that was two completely different films that gave you different levels of excitement and hit your different urges, with one hitting more of your character development in your stories and your investment in these people's lives, and the other one just hitting pure exhilarating action and great effects and visuals. And no one's been able to kind of create this just ambitious piece that I have now persuaded myself to go with Kill Bill. I would have said Pulp Fiction 10 minutes ago, and I'm going with Kill Bill.
So I basically glossed it up for Kill Bill. Damn it. I'm sorry, Quentin, if you're watching this.
All right, so with that being said, it is all down to me, which is ironic because originally I wasn't even supposed to be on the panel, but unfortunately we lost Mike. So now the determining vote comes down to me. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 versus Pulp Fiction. I want to come out the gates saying that we really haven't touched on, definitely not a lot, is The Bride. Uma Thurman's performance as
she's
as
fantastic.
Beatrix Kiddo.
Yeah.
She, holy cow, she encompasses what you look at as a female anti-hero, because at the end of the day, she's not really that bad of a person. Yeah, she's an assassin, but it's you have that, it's kind of like, you have like Deadpool or Wolverine, where it's someone who's down the wrong path and they just are taught a set of skills, or Black Widow, where they taught a set of skills and they're just able to just master it, and they're just, how it goes. And then towards the end, she becomes an anti-hero literally, and she starts taking out the bad guys. So the fact that she's able to do that, she's able to take on that action, like you said, great action in the movie, great effects, all the blood splurting, everything going on. The Crazy 8 battle is just, wow. One of the best scenes in movie history, one of the best battle scenes in movie history, let alone Tarantino scenes. So with that being said, I think that's awesome. The fact that she, little small scenes like move your big toe, and the fact that, we're able to...
we gotta stare at Tarantino's fetish for
exactly.
a few minutes.
We're able to actually utilize Tarantino's foot fetish to make it important towards the plot and actually serve a purpose, and that's actually fun. So I got to give him a lot of credit for that. Moving on to Pulp Fiction. This is a movie that is universally his number one. I think it's like 6, 7, or 8 in the top 10 of IMDb, which at the end of the day doesn't really matter because it's just people who just say a lot of things, but. It's that. A lot of people argue that it could have been and should have been Best Picture for '94, and a lot of people say, most people say it's, I know, just most people, and then most people say it's Tarantino's best movie. So the fact that it's on the top list of most people shows that it deserves to at least be in the finals of this, and it's unfortunate that it had to go against Inglorious Basterds, so it can't go up against Inglorious Basterds, and it's unfortunate that Reservoir Dogs lost earlier, so it didn't get to go up against the OGs of the OG, like OGG and OGGGG. So with that being said, what we have with these two movies, we have great dialogue, great characters, great storylines. We have great action, great characters, great dialogue, and great arcs. So when you think of Tarantino, you think more along the lines of dialogue and story. And I don't necessarily think of arcs, because not even necessarily stories, but more of like the flow. Where it's like it's non-linear or linear, like what you said. So not necessarily plot-based, but just how we approached it. So the fact that Pulp Fiction has universally one of the best characters of all time, the most quotable characters of all time in Jules Winfield. It has the comeback role for John Travolta. It has minor character performances in Harvey Keitel as the Wolf. It has little small stupid scenes like Steve Buscemi as Buddy Holly. It has, the film fan things, like you said, Mamie Van Doren. You have Marilyn Monroe. You have Jane. I can't think of that. That'd be a good trivia right now while I'm drinking. But the three actors that are at Jack Rabbit Slims. You have all things like that. You have the dancing. You have Ving Rhames. You have Bruce Willis kicking some butt, literally and metaphorically. So the fact that he's able to compass that, and Kill Bill really just has the violence, which is awesome. Great action. It's over the top, yes, but it's in a good way where it pays homage to anime, and it literally has an anime montage, and it's awesome. And not being an anime fan, I actually respect it and I appreciate it. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But I'm definitely going to go with Pulp Fiction on here as the best Tarantino movie, because it gives you the best qualities that you want from a Tarantino movie: the dialogue, the characters, and the story process, and how you want to go about a story, whether it's linear or non-linear, who you want to focus on, who you want to leave in the shadows, who you want to let shine in their 10 seconds of fame, and all that stuff. Whereas Kill Bill, it focuses pretty much, it's a pretty standard story where it's a revenge story, and it's a great revenge story, and it's a great arc. But when you think of Tarantino and you think of all that, for me, Chance the Titan Ellison, Zach the Great Gonzo Ford, and Mike, Mr. DVD, Gotta Leave Early, Hanley, we have decided that Pulp Fiction is the best Tarantino movie, and I stand by that, regardless of what you want to say and how tough it was. That's a great choice. And what do you guys feel about that being the final choice?
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, that was the one I was ready to fight for to the death. I love this film. I've seen it countless times. You can literally put me in front of this movie, I could recite the entire script. I love it from the fact that, yeah, like little things The soundtrack of this movie is amazing, which I didn't bring that up in the preliminary rounds. Everything pays off in some way. It's fantastic and absolutely deserves the title of best Tarantino film.
That's what I'm talking about. And Zach, you unfortunately chose for Kill Bill, but are you really sad, or are you pretty respectful of that?
Oh, I'm good with this. This is the expected outcome, and I think that might have made me favor Kill Bill just to be a little bit of the devil's advocate in art. So Pulp Fiction is, I think, the most just understandable choice in a more objective opinion.
I myself, Henry Confidential, Chance Titan Ellison, Zach the Great Gonzo Ford, and Mike Mr. DVD Gotta Leave Early Hanley. I am Henry Confidential. Once again, this is Dial In for Movies, and this is our, we don't have a title for this show, but we did the best Tarantino movie, tournament style. Pulp Fiction is number 1. Comment below. Let us know if you disagree with any of our choices. Comment below what you think the number 1 film is, and comment below any ideas what you want for future shows, and like this, and let's get this going. Trivia's on the new channel, and we're trying to come up with some new shows. So once again, I'm out of here, and my friends are coming with me. We got to go. Later.